Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Confidence Hustle interviews, where we talk to women from all walks of life who are killing it with their confidence. In case you don't already know me, I'm your host, Joyce Goldberg Fine. Tonight's guest has a tell it like it is style, and she's a mental health practitioner and a personal development expert. And so I'd like to introduce Allison Lager. Hi, Allison. How are
Hey,
you?
how are you? It's
I'm
nice to
doing
meet
well, thanks. I'm just going to tell everyone a little bit about you, and then we're going to get into our questions. So, Allison has been practicing for over 30 years. With 8 years of academics, Allison explains that her greatest and most profound education has been a direct result of repeated tragedy and triumph throughout her younger life. Allison's sole mission in her life is to spread her movement called Mission Awake. Allison is the founder and clinical director at Lager Counseling Services. And facilitates a women's empowerment group on Facebook. She also runs a podcast called Allison Answers and is at the end stages of the publication of her book, The Truth is Good Enough, a therapeutic guide for making triumphant change and creating your dream life. Allison works to spread her knowledge and expertise to as many people as she can in order to help them change their lives from a state of mediocrity to excellence.
Well, that sounds damn good.
Doesn't that?
Yeah,
I'm
put it all
impressed.
together. This is
So,
confidence, right?
so
Yeah.
yes. So is the book in the end stages or is it now completed?
Well, Joyce, do you
Let's
want me to
hear.
tell you? It's
Yes.
a bad story. Okay.
Oh.
It is. I'm not kidding. So basically the book was in its first edit.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly written, right? So then I went away for 3 days. I worked from 5 in the morning until 10 p.m., 3 days in a row,
Wow.
doing the edit, writing things, and then filling in. I had to fill in like these really like emotional stories
Yeah.
into the book because that was the point of it. Like that was it. I do all this content. I talk about all this personal development, but it was like time to write more about my real education, how I really learned it, like through like the difficulties in my life. So I
Right.
never wanted to do that. So I spent 3 days doing it. And you know what
Yes.
happened? At the end of the third day, my computer crashed.
Oh no, I knew you
Yes,
were going
I'm
to
telling
say
you,
that. I'm so
I
sorry.
lost everything.
Oh, and it was sort of an emotional
Yeah,
drain to get it out, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden, oh,
Okay, so the entire book is about getting through stuff like that.
right.
So I'm like, okay.
So you have to,
I'm like,
to walk your talk, right?
holy bejesus. Yes, I did. I
Yeah,
was like heavy breathing, like, oh, that really just happened. Like, I can't. And then I'm like having to like go back and forth in my mind
yeah.
and building those muscles to be able to now write it again.
Oh,
I
yes.
still have, so it's almost done. We have
Okay.
a book cover,
And
we have everything. It's supposed to get launched.
that's
I'm like, I need
wonderful.
more time.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that
Yes.
later and when it's going to launch and
Yeah.
everything, but it's
Mhm.
going to that second version is going to come out better than the first. I know it. But
It better.
let's go back to the very beginning
Okay.
and explain to everybody how you came to counseling. There, it seems like there was something in your past that drew you to this work. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Basically, the way it was in my life was I had like a little squad of friends when I
Hmm.
was young. I had a lot of friends and I had a really active house, but I was really neglected as a child. So I had a lot of trauma as a young girl, but I had a
Hmm.
lot of friends who were like also came from like not great homes. So they all came to me and would talk to me. It was weird. Like we would have like these little group talks and like, just it was just very natural for me to talk
Hmm.
to people about their problems because really we had a lot of problems to talk. We had a lot to talk about actually.
Yeah.
So and but that wasn't really the thing that drew me. It just was really natural for me, probably even if there weren't bad things that were happening.
Right.
But so what ended up really, I went to school for fashion buying and merchandising because I love clothes and I love art and all of that. And while I was going to school, I learned that the main premise behind fashion marketing is to make people feel uncomfortable in what they're wearing so that they will buy something else.
So
And it was
interesting.
just that moment, I was like, I'm not doing that. And I was just like, I don't want anything to do with that. I like clothes.
Right.
I'll dress you. I don't want to do that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, so I'm good at, so then I switched to psychology. But I mean, just to kind of sum it up and to just be very real, and that's what that whole book is really about.
Hmm.
Basically, I had all this education, a lot of education, a lot of training, a lot of experience, but like the main thing that really made me great at what I do, and I say that with confidence because it's a freaking confidence hustle. I mean, I'm
That's
saying it.
right. Absolutely own it. Yes.
Basically, but it did. I fought for every moment of this confidence, let me tell you. So, but really,
Yes.
seriously, so it didn't come easily. But
Yeah.
the real thing was experiencing like tragedy,
Mhm.
despair, looking at a situation like there's no way out of this. I'm never going to get out of this. And then overcoming it and then
Wow.
doing it again and then
Yeah.
doing it again. And there were so many different things that happened in my life that
Hmm.
were really, it's almost like it sounds like I'm making it up because it's so many things. It's actually almost funny.
Wow.
To me, it's funny because I know the purpose. Because
Right.
everything that I've gone through, there's not been one thing that I've gone through that I haven't learned so much. You know, I always tell people if you're gonna experience a $20,000 failure or a $20,000 trauma, $100,000 trauma, you better bet your butt, I won't curse, your butt that the lesson you learn from that is more than 20 grand, is more than 30 grand, is
That's
more
a
than what
really
you
great way
lost.
to think of it. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that now every one of those things, now I own that land. So, you know, having an eating disorder, I own that land. Being in a murder trial, I own that. Like I know what trauma feels like. So when I go and I meet with someone, it's not new to me.
Right.
So it's
Hmm.
like, I know that there's a way out. And when you're in those places, like repetitious despair and getting out, you learn that there's no situation that's too great that you can't get out of. Nothing. So there's, you know, nothing. There's always a solution. So that's my message. There's always a solution. You can never lose, ever. So
That's so
that's what
it's
taught me how to be a therapist. So
wow.
when I
Yeah.
lost the book, the content, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what
And now
the, right?
this. Right.
I'm like, but I'm
Right.
not doing that. I will not go in despair. I'm like,
Right.
this is not happening to me. This is happening for me.
Love that.
How do I
Hmm.
find that?
Yeah.
I was asking people, I'm like, could you just tell me how this is happening for me? I think I asked my husband, he's like, I do not see anything good about this, Allison. Like, I'm not going to be talking to you. You are no help whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
But the people that work for me were like, yeah, no, this is the reason. We know
Yeah.
the reason, Allison.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good reasons it happened.
And I love the, you said, you could kind of, it seems like you could kind of laugh at it now. At the time it's happening, it's hard to, but the seeing the funny in it or seeing the humor, I can see that being such a great way to get yourself through something. And sometimes you can't do anything but laugh because otherwise you'll start to cry, and that's not helpful. So, but
Yeah.
but seeing that humor and looking at it in that way, even though obviously clearly a lot of the things you've been through are really heavy things, big things, but
Oh, yeah.
now looking back and being able to look at it in a different way just seems so helpful or healthy or whatever word
It's,
you would put to it. What'd you
yeah,
say?
it's something, right?
Right.
No,
So
but you know what's weird? I'm so sorry. I have
no,
a
go tell
tendency.
me.
I'm just it is so like I feel like every single thing in life, no matter what it is, like you have a choice.
Yeah.
And so like if you're living from like an external locus of control, like everything, if my the way I experience life is based on everything that's happening around me, I'm basically screwed.
Right.
But if I
Mm.
work from an internal locus of control, and I'm in charge of my life, and I'm in charge of the way I think, I'm in charge of the meaning I attach to things, how I feel. I get to choose how I feel today. The
Right.
circumstances don't teach me, don't tell me how to feel. So
Hmm.
that's like that inner core fortitude. So that's what's developed from being in those situations. You're like, I can't change the situation, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna let it get in here. I'm gonna go from here out and change the way I see it and what I do with it.
Such
I'm gonna
strength.
own it.
Yes, yes, you're gonna own it, right?
Yeah.
Because I could see, even I see other people and other examples where people hang on or they try to change the situation or the other person, and I remember doing that as well to, with my relationship or my jobs or different things that I was like a dog with a bone. I'm going to make this work. I don't care. I'm not giving up. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's really not you really can't do it that way. And it's, not the smartest thing. And just being able to have that strength of inside to say, I can't control anything but myself and how I choose to react to things. I think that's so great, such a great lesson for people to learn, Allison. And just speaking of, what's happening these days and how, like you said, things are around us, or things are, well, we're in a pandemic basically. And one of the things I read about you was, when you talk about Mission Awake, you talk about that we're in a pandemic, right?
Well, when I was talking about it, well, wait, I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I read something about Mission Awake, and you're on a mission to awaken the world from the pandemic of mediocrity,
Oh, that. Oh, yeah.
as
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
by repetitive patterns in life that keep people from the greatness they were made for.
Yeah.
So I just thought
I didn't know what
we
you
have
meant.
to talk about that, because here
Okay.
we are in a pandemic, and you've already ID'd this other pandemic that's happening.
It's a fact. It is the most,
Mhm.
it's worse than the pandemic.
So
The
tell us a little bit about that.
basically, and that's my like fire. That's like my mission. Like I will,
Mm.
as many people as I can tell for the rest of my life until I hit that grave, that is my job. That's my mission in life. And basically, because from the years of just being a therapist and just personal experiences or whatever, my observation is that human beings are doing all sorts of stuff
Mm.
that they don't want to be doing with people they don't want to be doing it with,
Mm.
working at things they don't want to be working at, and following the social norm that does not allow for anything about who they are.
Mm.
And what I have discovered, and it's so important, we are all automated, and no matter what, and I can prove it. I mean, we are automated. So what I do is I have people look at like 7 areas of their life. So financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, socially, relationally, and fun and enthusiasm. And you look at those 7 areas of your life. It might be 8. I always get it wrong. And basically, you just look at your current results right now. Whatever, how much money do you have in the bank? Are you in debt? What kind of relationships do you have? Are you fit, or do you spend your whole life wanting to be fit? Like, where are you now in all of those things? What are your patterns? Because everybody has patterns in all of those things. The relationships, people live by patterns. And what happens is, so you look at the facts without judgment. And that's where the truth is good enough,
Right.
because nothing changes until it becomes what it is. If the biggest avenue to freedom, the only avenue to freedom, is truth. So if you don't know where you are, you're never going to be able to get where you're going. So
Right.
it's like accepting where I am. So let's say, like, you find with somebody that they're in debt, and every time they get ahead, they fall back behind again. And it's just a repetitious experience. And they just think that's the way it is. They're automated,
Right.
because they're automated by the blueprints, the core beliefs that have been neurologically
Yeah.
set up from them from the time of birth.
Hmm.
We're born with 100 billion neurons. By the time we're between 2 and 7 years old, we have a 1.5 quadrillion synaptic connections that are all based on the meaning that's been attached to the data that's come into the five senses. So
Wow.
that meaning, now our brain filters out anything that doesn't support that data. So then
Mm-hmm.
that data is the blueprint that runs the rest of your freaking life. And if
Wow.
you don't learn,
Yeah.
recognize it and see it as the truth, and then reframe and change, be aware of it and pivot and restructure the way you think, feel, believe about that,
Mm-hmm.
you're just going to repeat it again. So it's like taking a map, everybody's trying to go to California and they keep pulling out the map to Chicago. And they're like, how the hell did I land here again?
Yes.
Did I answer your question? I probably didn't.
Yeah, well, it's about, I think
Additionally,
no, that's definitely part, like, so being, I think you said something, yeah, because you're saying that in order to be your best self, you have to break those patterns of behavior that were holding you back and
and you know
being
what it is?
mediocre.
Behavior. I'm sorry.
No, tell me.
The behavior. I get so fired up because I want to.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
The behavior is just a byproduct, and it's a byproduct of fuel that's
Mm-hmm.
spewing out electrical impulses. We have 65 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 91% of those thoughts are the thoughts we thought yesterday. So, and the feelings that we feel,
Mm-hmm.
we become chemically addicted to the feelings we feel the most. So our bodies are going to pull us back to old feelings. Our thoughts are going to only give us information of what's already stored in our neurological network. So in order to change your life and the patterns you're in, you have to create. It's not possible. You must create new thoughts and command new feelings, or you will not. And you have to develop a new belief system about yourself. So mindset, belief system, belief is everything. Whatever you believe, you become.
So, Allison, I have a question about this. So, lots of times, what'd you say?
I'm just like, ah.
I love it. So, this thing comes up for me
Yeah.
about comfort zones and about, people just stay in what's comfortable, even if it's no good.
Yes.
So how do you break that pattern, because and get into those new those new thought processes and all that stuff to change the behavior if people are so comfortable
Mm-hmm.
just wishing they could get in shape, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So how do you break that? What has to happen? And it must be scary for people to have to jump out of that old behaviors and get into the new ones.
Think about it. It's so amazing. Think about it. It's scary. It's a risk, but think about the risk of not doing it. Living your whole life,
Yeah.
wishing and dreaming and hoping for things that you have the power to have and do and be, and you don't do it because of
Mm-hmm.
comfort. So like so one of the things I talk about, I believe 100% is always be a novice. People are afraid to be new. People are afraid to be uncomfortable.
Right.
We're taught to not know the truth. We're taught to because we live in like a mistake averse society. So
Yes.
if I'm gonna try something new, I'm gonna come out of my comfort zone, which means that's something I already know. That's mediocrity.
Uh-huh.
I wish I could curse on here, but I won't. So basically,
You
it's
can if you
like,
want. It's adult show.
that's bullshit. I mean, come on.
Yes, I know.
What really? So okay, so now I'm gonna be a prisoner to things I don't like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you were really asking me, how does it happen? So the first step always, and that's why the book's called The Truth is Good Enough.
Mm-hmm.
The first step every time is the truth. So you have to know, what is it? I am so comfortable here. What is it about here? What is, like, you want to know what you learned about here, that, and what does it mean to you to leave here to go there? What are you going to lose when you go there? What are the risks? People, a lot of times, let's say somebody wants to lose weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say like, okay, I always ask them, so you're here now. The first thing is you always have to accept now and love now. Because now's now. Now's never leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So then I asked them to visualize and imagine whatever that body is. Let's just say that's it, right? Whatever that body is.
Yeah.
And when you look, I asked them, so tell me everything about life in that body, everything. And I actually just did this with somebody today. So we were talking about it. And the thing is, it's what are you afraid of? Because I'm going to get more attention. And what happens when you get more attention? Well, there's more, I mean, there's so many variables. There's going to be more responsibility. There's going
Yeah.
to be more expected of me. You know,
Oh.
how do you feel when you get more attention? Then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't want people looking at me. How come you don't want, and then you go to the core that there's shame there, shame of who I am. Because if I cover myself with a little weight, people won't look at me. You know, so, and women are taught not to be great. We're taught to, you know, we're taught to compete. So I can only be better or worse than you. I can never be with you.
Such a mind-blowing, but so true. It's really unbelievable. But you're right.
It's that life. See, this is mission awake. If
Mm-hmm.
everybody, this is my mission. It's going crazy. Like all we have to do is be awake
Yep.
and aware. That's it. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do a lot. People think
Mm-hmm.
you have to do these major breaks. You don't. It's very simple. It's basically staying put. That's why I do that women's group every day. Every day we do something. So it's like,
So
we stay awake.
empowering. Mm-hmm.
How can we live life and not be?
Right.
I mean, we have one go around here.
That's right.
And we're just gonna lay around and like just be what everybody else is. We're so conditioned to be like everybody else.
Yes.
But we're not, we're snowflakes. We're all different.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm not letting you talk. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was thinking of a,
Up.
I was thinking of a, there was an author, her name was Barbara Sher. She wrote a book a long time ago called I Could Do Anything If I Only Knew What It Was. But she had, in the beginning of the book, she had a little saying that always stuck with me. And it said something, it's a quote that said, most people die with their music still in them,
Oh
or
yeah.
something like that. And it just makes me think, what you're saying makes me think of that, and what a shame that is, that we don't want that for people.
No.
And this empowering, it's so great, because I know that you facilitate, this women's empowerment group on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I want to know, in your opinion, what is the best part of facilitating that group? I'm sure there's lots of amazing things, but can you share some?
It is so damn good, that group. I can't even tell you. So like basically it's just like grows like wildfire. Like that group is like so many women on there, right? And basically what it is, it's so much fun. So every morning at 5 a.m., I put a video out. So there's a video and it's under 5 minutes, the video.
Uh-huh.
And there's a challenge every
Nice.
day. I never miss a day. So basically, never. So there's every day. And the challenge, there's all different challenges. Like, and the whole purpose of the group is to change the face of the female in our society, to have a totally different mindset, to stop people pleasing, be able to say no, to be able to stop worrying about what other people think, to be able to manage our time, to not be so guilty and resentful and afraid, to be able to proclaim our rarity and love ourselves, be our own best friend. Like we are just like badass women on there.
I
So
love that.
everybody's insecure, you
Wow.
know, so it's like, we're
I'm
like,
joining that group.
join it.
I
Oh my
am.
God, I wish I could join
Awesome.
it, but I can't. So I'm in it.
So what's it called? The Women's Empowerment Group on
It's
Facebook? Is
called,
it for
it's
your
called,
name?
you're gonna laugh at me because I never remember the name of my own group, but it's called the Women of Excellence. Let me see if I get this right. Women of Excellence Daily Challenge to Triumphant Change. I think that's what it is. But if you
Nice.
just put Women of Excellence,
Women
basically
of
I'll put my
Excellence. I'm
name.
gonna look for that. Yes.
Oh,
And then I'll put it in the comments when I post this video.
yeah,
So if people want to join, that would
it's
be
so
okay,
much fun.
right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So everybody
Awesome.
comments. So I'll say like, hey, okay, we're going to talk about time blocking. Who's in charge of your time? Is time in charge of you, or you in charge of your time? And then I talk, and then I tell them they have a journal, I actually have a journal on this. So they have a journal
Uh-huh.
and they write down what they've been doing, and it's fast. It's not a long thing, because I think people need to just go in
Yeah.
and out. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then I say, okay, for the next 24 hours, this is what I want you to do. I want you to be awake and aware, and I want you to notice how you, who's in charge of your day. So like, for example, this is just an example of a challenge. So when you're when you're going to get dressed in the morning, who decides what you wear? Do you decide? Or is it, you're thinking about what Sally at, whatever
Down the
work?
street is going to wear, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
so as you're going, every decision you're making all day long, I want you to notice who's in charge. And then I want you to pivot, and I want you to be in charge today for the next 24 hours. So it's like all different things like that.
That is really
So
great.
it's fun.
It
So,
sounds really fun. That is really great.
and people are changing. They're like, oh my God, I do this. Like, everybody's like, I'm a badass. I'm like, ah, let's go. So we have so much fun. Yeah, it's good.
It's
And
amazing. And then everyone's like connecting and meeting each other. And that's
yeah,
really a great byproduct of the group, I guess, too, right?
yeah, I want it to be like, and because I was thinking, I do this, we do therapy here, the counseling center, 1 hour, one person at a time. And I'm like, you know what? Like, why not? Like, what would really make a difference? I'm like, probably a little bit of something every day. Get you going and
So
stay
great.
focused, one thing every day.
I love
And
it.
that changes you when you stay with one thing, and then you do and then the next day, and so you just incrementally just change your life.
So you said every morning at 5 a.m., you
Yeah.
get on there with your 5-minute video and your challenge, which I find is amazing. So even if you're on vacation, you're going on and doing that. Is that right? So
Yeah,
then,
I did some, I'm telling you, on vacation, I was by the pool, I'm walking, I'm like, and I'm telling them that how embarrassed I am. I have no makeup on. All right, ladies, this challenge is about being yourself,
right,
not being embarrassed about what other people think. So
that's
whatever.
great.
Yeah.
So in addition to the Facebook group, you also have a podcast called Allison Answers. And I've listened to a couple of the episodes. It's really great. And that's how I know you have this tell it like it is style, because you're so vibrant and just really tell it like it is. And I love that about you. And then there's somebody on the podcast named Ryan. And I have not figured out who Ryan is. So you have,
Nobody knows who the hell Ryan is.
yeah,
Who is Ryan?
who's Ryan?
If
So
Ryan heard this, he would just look at me and he would just walk away, because he would just be like, she's talking about me again. Every time I pass his office, I'm like, Ryan, shut up, Ryan. And I just walk past. But anyhow, Ryan works for me. He's a therapist, and he's also my friend, and he's also a co-host on my
Love
show.
it.
And so he's very dry.
Yeah.
He's actually very funny, but like, he doesn't make anything like loud. So I'm loud and I'm talking, and like, I can go off on a tangent for 4 hours. He's like, the show does have to end, and then he'll just move me over to like the topic we were on. So he's just like balances me.
So he's like
And
your straight man.
What?
He's like your straight man.
He is. That's
Like
what he's like.
He's like Robin to your Howard Stern.
Oh God, I will never be Howard Stern. He's such a pig. He's such a pig. I hated him when I was younger, and I don't know if I hate him.
He's changed, but anyway. Yes.
Watch, you're gonna say he's my husband, and I
No, yeah, right.
I was so bad for his wife, Allison.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a tragedy. What about his daughters?
I know. Anyway.
Like, he's my Robin.
Yes, love it. I love that. So tell us about the So tell us about the podcast.
Okay, so the podcast basically was, because I always have these ideas, like I want to do something else. So that was I don't know when we started, but basically the podcast was like, I get this like, like, I can't just help one person at a time. I feel like I just, I have this like thing where I just want to add value wherever I go. I want to wake people up. So that's basically what it was about. So we just started, and originally it was going to be, the reason it was called Allison Answers is because I was like, hey Ryan, let's do like a modern day Dear Abby. And let's
Love
have
it.
people call in and just ask questions. Because I
Yeah.
could talk about any shit anybody wants to talk about. You want to talk about it? I'm going to talk to you about it.
Yep.
So basically, I was like, let's just do that. He's like, okay. So we just, but it didn't work. We just didn't do it. I don't know what happened. We just started talking, and then I started talking about like different things, like Mission Awake, and about because I'm really into neuroscience. So then I started talking about neuroscience, and then it just took on like this kind of life. And then
Yeah.
Ryan was, during the pandemic, I was alone a lot because Ryan was like where he was, he had
Yeah.
a baby, or he did something like that. He had a baby.
Mhm.
And then like so then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast. And I would just like make a phone call. I'm like, watch this, people. I'm going to try and call my son. Good luck. Let's see what happens here.
If
And
he
then like
answers,
my son
right?
will come. He actually answered. I
That's
couldn't
great.
believe it. I'm like, guess what? You're on the podcast. And he's like, oh, okay. So then we had like an hour and a half podcast. We called somebody else. I called this girl, 16 years old, on the thing. She's like, I'm like, what do you want to tell the people? Boys are stupid. I'm like, all right. So just like whatever, we just talked
I
about
love
stuff.
it.
I'm not
Yeah.
really explaining it. I'm
No,
being a
you
little,
have to, people will have to listen to the podcast. They'll have to
you know what,
just take
it's
a
more,
listen.
yeah, it's
Right.
really about that mission, about Mission
Yes.
Away. It's about, I have a guy coming on Friday. He's from, he has a podcast called Give a Heck. And he's in the group, this group I'm in, this business group.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to talk about, I don't even know what he's going to talk about, actually. I better look that over. But he's going to talk about like personal development, and
Mm-hmm.
everything is about waking up from being automated, from living a life of mediocrity. Like success is our obligation. Like we don't have a right not to succeed.
All right. You are taking me to my next question. You're so smart.
Yeah, like,
So,
let's segue.
I read that about you also, that that's the obligation is success. And I wanted you to elaborate on that and explain what you mean.
Okay. So basically what I mean, and I don't mean it to sound like a hard ass, like, oh, you should be successful, there's something wrong with you. I don't mean that. What I mean is when I say success is being everything that you are
Mhm.
without leaving one little drop of what you are behind. So to me, it's like everything that you can be, you owe it to yourself, your community, your family, to be everything that you can be. And it doesn't have to be that you're striving and working hard. It actually should be pretty simple, that you silence all the externals and you listen to that vibrant, still small voice in your heart, that's in your DNA, that's, you're made for more than this. Everybody knows it, but they lose it. They lose it with what everybody, and we're so worried about what everybody thinks about what we're doing that we don't even know what we're supposed to be doing. So it's really like find your spark.
Yeah.
And I think it's my obligation to help people to do that, because we're meant to have a sense of well-being, and people like are just conditioned to believe that life sucks and you just
Mm,
retire and die. Like what is this about?
right.
So I'm not sure if I answered your question. I don't even remember what it was. What did you ask me?
I asked you, you answered. I said, why is success our obligation or your obligation?
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. So, in addition to, knowing what is inside of you and what matters to you and acting on that, to me seems like that would be success, because success would be different for every person, right? So sometimes I notice that, companies have their own pillars that they follow, nonprofits, or, they have a mission, or there's companies that have the pillars of people, productivity, whatever.
Yeah.
Would you recommend that for, an individual to have things that they live by, that they consciously think about those things and make a conscious effort to follow certain pillars of importance in their life? So it's not sort of random and you're not floating along, you're doing it intentionally.
I love that.
Well, thanks.
I do, because yes, couldn't even agree more. We have here, like at our counseling centers, I hire and it's not like I fire, but it's just a phrase. I hire and fire
Right.
around our core beliefs. Every person who's hired here, I ask them to read our core beliefs, and if they don't resonate with them, I tell them, please do not take the job because you
Yeah.
won't make it here.
Yeah.
So
It's
basically,
fair and transparent.
yeah.
Mhm.
So in terms of like, yeah, I have like basic philosophies that I don't deviate from. So like I think about like a pillar, or to me it's like my core value
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
that I add my mission in life, and I'm really not even kidding. It sounds like kind of like, I don't know, like too good, but I really mean it. My mission as a human being, as I'm walking through, even just in my house, whatever, is add value wherever you go, wherever I am. If it's
So
at the
great.
cash register,
Yep.
somebody over there, there's garbage on the floor, I find my kid's sock. Look at me, I'm making the world a better place. You know what I mean? It's like,
Exactly.
and so
Right.
like,
Hmm.
and we have like our core values here are, and I believe, I I live and die by this principle: go the extra mile.
Yep.
You know, like
Hmm.
everybody here knows, like we do more than we're paid for. We do more than is expected of us. Because you know what, you want a good life, do that. You know,
Right.
our other thing is, I have a core value here, and I insist on it, is have fun.
I
So
love
like
it.
everybody who works here, like just today, we were really stressed. We had a lot going on, really serious, a lot of serious things that we have to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
And Jessica, the person who you're talking to, she's like,
Yes.
I think we need a song.
Oh.
I'm like, yes, Jessica. So she puts on the song, she plugs it in, and it's where your energy flows. Wait, where you I'm losing it. Where your what the heck? Where your thoughts flow, your energy flows. I don't even remember the song, but
So
all of us just know, we all just start dancing
love it.
because, and I own the place. There's people getting counseling. I don't care. We're gonna have fun. So it's like, because we're not gonna let stress take over.
Hmm.
So yes, do I believe in that? I mean, we go the extra mile, where everybody who works here is a lifetime learner. So it's, everybody's always reading. So what
Yeah.
book are you reading? What's our next book? What are we
That's
doing?
really great.
Yeah, I'm
It's
talking a lot.
no, it's just that you're very encouraging, and and you're not trying to be, like you said, I'm not trying to be telling everyone what to do, but at the same
No.
time, sometimes I feel like you need that kind of cheerleader in your life
Hmm.
to be like, come on, why are you have, like you said, you have one go around.
Hmm.
Make
Yeah.
the best of it. And I feel, there's lots of different people out there, and some people respond really well to the come on, let's go, like a trainer,
Hmm.
and others can do it on their own.
Hmm.
And it really, I find it really interesting, and that you're from where you're looking at things, Allison, and how it doesn't have to be all bad, and there's a way to see things in this great new light and be in control of yourself, and it's so empowering, and I love that so much.
Yeah.
So
Joyce, it's no matter whatever we look for, we're going to find.
yeah.
It's a
Hmm.
fact. If you're looking for hard times, you're going to get them.
Yes.
If you're looking for beauty,
Right.
you're going to find it.
Yeah.
But even we hear, like, everybody has different personalities, and I believe in that. Like, nobody
Mm.
has to be, you know, the way I am. I don't care. I mean, Jessica's so spoken and loving and
Yeah.
quiet. And Jessica's like, I had a hard day. I decided to give Ryan, I didn't know what to do, so I gave Ryan my tear. And I'm like,
Aw.
Jessica? So that's her rarity, that's her beauty,
Right. Right.
you know? And it's like she shared her pain with Ryan. She's like, Ryan, I don't know what to do. I need supervision. And Allison's not here. Here is my tear. And he's like, okay. She's just perfect. So it's just like, everybody's different.
Yep. Mm.
She's fun, but she's a different fun. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right. The same way everybody shouldn't be following everybody like blind, like a herd of animals, just
Yes.
and doing, they should be doing what makes sense for them. So this has just been such a fun conversation. I I
You.
love what you're doing and what you know how you're making a difference with people. It's amazing. And I'm just wondering if you could just tell us a little. So I know we started with the book, and
Mhm.
then a bad thing happened with the book, but we're turning that into lemonade. So when
Oh,
is the book? So when's the book? Do you have a publishing a date when the book's going to come out, or still kind of up in the air?
it's 3 weeks ago. So,
Okay, gotcha.
no, so
So
basically, yes, I do. So right now I'm going, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be done in like just as soon as I finish it, like a couple of weeks, and then we're going to launch it. So
so exciting.
it's
So we'll
going to be
have to come back on, and I'll have to tell people in the comments, when the book launches and where they can tell everybody where they can find the book once it's available.
yeah, it's going to be on Amazon. And the thing that we're doing that's cool is that we're having this, I don't even understand it exactly, but my publisher's doing it. It's like, um, it should be fun. It's, we have like a 3 hour window where we're going to ask everybody to, the book is like, going to have like, it's a regular book, but you could also, if you wanted to buy the Kindle for like 99 cents. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, he goes, Allison, I just want you to ask everybody to buy the Kindle, the 99-cent thing. They can buy the book, but buy the Kindle. And he's like, because we're going to push it for 3 hours.
Wow.
And like, that's your launch. So, and I was going to have a party. I'm also having an event, a women's event.
So
It's going to
exciting.
be amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not sure where it's going to be yet.
Right.
Long Island, New York, or Florida. We're going to do like a women's retreat.
So much fun. That's
It's going to be
exciting.
fun. Yeah.
Ah, really
We'll have
great. So Allison, after somebody's listening to the conversation and hearing all these amazing things you're talking about, and if they want to work with you or contact you, how would they do that?
Well, there's all different ways. So one is through, I'm on Instagram,
Hmm.
Allison Answers. That's on Instagram. I'm also under Lager Counseling Services. It's Lager like the beer. It would not, I'm sorry, it's not under Lager Counseling Services. It's under Lager Counseling.
Okay.
That's on Instagram.
Hmm.
Then on Facebook, I have the Women of Excellence
Hmm.
um, challenge, but that's under, you could just look me up under that. But if you look me up on
Hmm.
Facebook, I have it's under my name, but it's my business. It's me. So it's Allison with one L. You have to
Okay.
remember it's one L. Allison with one L.
Hmm.
Lager like the beer, Lager. Then it's L as in Larry, C as in cat, S as in Sam, W, LCSW.
Right.
Then it's KSAC, CASAC. And then I'm also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel,
And what's your channel name?
Allison Answers.
Nice.
Then
Hmm.
the podcast is Allison Answers Mission Awake. I'm on every platform. Um, uh, doesn't like any Apple, doesn't anywhere you go.
Got it.
Buzzsprout, doesn't matter. You can find. And then what is my other thing? You can email me. I love to hear from people. So it's
Terrific.
Allison with one L
Mhm.
at lagercounseling.org.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Thank you. What?
I forgot there was one more thing. It's okay.
Tell me.
The one more thing I'm doing, which is so it's a pilot, so I can't even like promote it because we'll see how it goes. But basically, it's I'm doing this membership
Hmm.
where it's going to be 12 topics for the year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the first Monday of every month, I do a Zoom call for 1 hour. So I
Okay.
speak for 30 minutes on it, teach on the topic. And the first month's topic is going to be identity. Then I have a 30-minute question and answer. Then after that, you're going to be in a platform, and there will be a 20-minute video that gives you a challenge for the week with a journal. So you're going to have to write something. Then there's going to be 2 or 3 videos in there where I'm going to encourage you through that week. And for the month, you're going to work on a topic. And we're going to start with going through those blueprints to pull out what the core beliefs. So this is like a membership. It's called an exclusive therapeutic membership.
Wow.
And yeah, so basically what I'm doing is that. And I did it for my women. I gave them like this crazy, ridiculous deal where it was like the first 50 women get like, it's $57 a month or something, like really low price.
That's
I just want as many people to get better as possible. So basically it's and then in that, what we're going to have our own private Facebook page where I'm going to interact. I get on there every day. People can, throw videos up, make comments. I will interact with them. I do it in my other one. I answer every comment.
That's
There's
really
not
terrific.
one comment I don't answer.
Wow.
In
You're
this
so
other,
dedicated. That's wonderful.
it's a relationship,
Yes,
So
100%.
yeah, I'm committed to it.
And people trust you, obviously, and they get to know you and like you. And so that's really such a big piece of it. It's great. You're doing so much stuff, so much good work for so many people. It's really exciting.
Thank you.
It's great.
I can't not. It's too good. I love it.
That's amazing.
Thank you. You're amazing.
So thanks. So this has been such a nice conversation, and I can't wait to join the Facebook group. I'm going to join it. And I hope everybody who listens to this will also join it and look out for the membership when it comes available. And don't forget about Allison's book for whenever that is coming out, which is going to be soon. We'll also put it in the comments when it'll be available once you know the actual date. And so this is it's been really terrific. And I really want to thank everybody. Thank Allison and thank everybody for watching. I want to just let everyone know that the Confidence Hustle interviews are brought to you by Joyce Goldberg Consulting. We're creating the professional content women-owned small businesses need to build their credibility and ultimately build their business. To learn more, you can go to joycegoldberg.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch even more amazing and inspiring interviews like this one. And the channel is my name, Joyce Goldberg Fine. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a great night. Allison, thank you again for being with us.
I want to thank you so much for having me on your show. And I'm grateful to have met you. And I really want to promote what you're doing because I think you're just a lovely, beautiful human. So I just want to do that however I can. I'll say it on my podcast, whatever. And I also, you know what? I shouldn't say it on here. I'll say it privately. But I belong to this huge group, this business group. I'll put you right out there.
Ah, well, thank you. You're so nice.
On my Facebook page. They'll all see it.
Thanks,
if they'll listen to me till the end, I don't know. I mean, maybe they won't listen. So it's like, then they won't hear your stuff. I'll have to put it somewhere.
It's okay. I've really had so much fun with you. This has been really, really great.
I'm so glad.
You're awesome.
Do we live in the same area?
Yes.
You've been around here?
Let's stick around. When I'm done recording, we'll talk.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Have a great night and stay tuned for the next Confidence Hustle interview coming soon. Take care. Good night.
Good night.